Good morning, digital designers. This is Mr. Roper with a Blender quick tip for you. By now, you've seen how we can add lots of basic objects, things like cubes, cylinders, and spheres. But Blender actually has a bunch of hidden objects that you can add for building your scenes. So I just opened up a new blank document here. Let me get rid of the light, the camera, and the cube, and I'm going to show you how you can add even more objects to your scene. First, we're going to go into the edit menu. So we're going to come up here to the top and we're going to choose preferences. And inside preferences, you'll see a little tab here called add-ons. Now, add-ons are free things that people who use Blender a lot have created, and now they've been added to the software to make modeling easier. So there's hundreds of add-ons that are already in your system. You just have to go in and turn them on. So to do that, we're going to go into the little search box and we're going to type in extra. And you'll see two things pop up: add mesh extra objects and add curve extra objects. I'm going to go ahead and enable both of these by clicking on the little white checkbox, and now they're added to Blender. So when I close this, I can now, when I add an object, Shift A, you'll see that not only do I have plane, cube, sphere, etc., but down here I've got some extras. I've got rock generator. Rock generator creates an randomized rock into your scene. And every time you make a new one, it creates a totally different rock. Down here, you've got some options that you can open up, and you can increase the number of rocks, how big the rocks are, and even the type of rocks. There's a whole list here of like ice, sandstone, asteroids, river rock. So if I hit asteroid, it'll actually give me a larger, more space looking rock that I can drop into my scene. If I choose river rock, I'll get something kind of smoother and smaller. So this is a really good one, especially for those of you that are doing outdoor scenes and you want to create lots of rocks that you can pile up and put into your environment. This is a great add-on. Okay. The other ones that come in there, if I do Shift A, you can see that under mesh, I've got other things like gears. So I can create big rotating gears like this to use in my scene. And again, there's lots of different options for that. You can increase the number of teeth, how big it is, if it's got an angle to it. You've also got Shift A, diamonds in there. So it'll create diamond and gem shapes. You've got pipes that you can create. So if your scene has any kind of like sewer pipes or bent pipes that are going around in your scene, you can create those with this. And you've got things like this extras objects here where you can build beams, walls, stars, pyramids, honeycombs, teapots, and even sponges. The wall factory is a really cool one. When I click this, it's going to auto generate for me some walls. And you can see it's got lots of different options over here for getting that kind of medieval castle look. You have to experiment with quite a bit because you'll see that you can change up the size of the bricks by sliding on the width and changing the thickness of the bricks. You can change the size of the wall to make it larger or shorter. And you can add things like grout, which is the little concrete in between the bricks. You can change the number of openings or whether it has openings at all. Like if I turn this one on, I can create these arched windows just by checking arch. I can control the curve of it if I want them rounded or pointed. I can make them thicker if I want some things around that. So those of you that are doing medieval buildings, this is going to be great. And then down here, you've got options for things like grenelles. I didn't even know what this word meant until I started playing around this. But those are the little like castle teeth that go around the top of your wall. Okay. So very, very cool stuff in this one. Definitely play around with it if you're experimenting at all with medieval walls. Okay. I'm going to close that one out and remember that all of those now are in your mesh options. There's one other add-on that a few of you may be interested in, and that's the landscape generator. So I go up to edit, go into my preferences, and in the search box, I'm going to type in the word landscape. And one of the options that'll pop up is add mesh and landscape. When this is enabled, you can go to Shift A and you'll see this landscape option. When I click it, by default, it's going to create this little mini mountain scene. You're like, well, what am I going to do with that? It's so small. But up here, you have some options for how you can change it up. So for example, this is the mountain default one, but you can see you can create canyons, hills, cliffs, dunes, anything that you want to add into the background of your scene. So for example, if I do rock, it'll just generate a huge rock there. I could do, let's come up to lakes, and it'll create a little lake landscape. Or I can pick something like canyons and get these canyon surfaces. Now, they're going to be really small when you first open them up, but remember, just like any other option, you can scale this and make it gigantic. You could do whole game levels with this if you wanted a big canyon. And if the mountains are too tall, you just scale it down. I do SZ, and I can press this flat and get a smoother landscape that I could use maybe for like a backyard scene or just a little environment around it. So you could put these around your room that you're building. So lots of fun stuff in here. Add-ons are amazing. You can take some time to explore the other add-ons that are in there and see what's available. And if you go online and search Blender add-ons, you're going to find a whole world of things that people have created to make modeling more fun and more quick. Okay, have fun with that, and we'll keep working on your rooms today.